Welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to give you a quick video, more casual style of video where we go through the raw data, give you a clear understanding of the market in Dubai so you can make quick and informed decisions about buying, selling, taking any positions in the market. So what I've done today is I've prepared some numbers just to give you an insight. Of course, as usual, if you do have any questions, my number is in the description below. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have and have a discussion about any assets that you have in Dubai, or if you're looking to take any positions, happy to go over pluses and minuses of those areas. But let's get straight to it. So Dubai as a whole, great place. I live here. My father actually invested early 2007, so I've seen a lot happen. Market has gone up, and of course we've had some pullbacks in between. But understanding the raw numbers will give us a good understanding of where we can expect the market to go in the future. Now, we set up Irwin Real Estate and we cover 3 specific areas, not necessarily the only areas that we sell in, but Tilal Al Ghaf, Arabian Ranches, and Dubai Hills. 3 sub-communities, and of course we do lots of transactions out of the area, off plan, as well as ready properties. This market is all about having the right connections and making sure you know the right people in the right areas to get the right properties at the right price for your clients. And we do well at that. So let's have a look at the market as a whole. So what have we seen? Let's look at the numbers. So the UAE has seen growth of 5.54% over the last 12 months. We're now at 1790 per square foot. So as a whole, an average is 1790 per square foot. 5.54 is what we've seen in terms of that appreciation. Now, what are investors looking for? They're looking for something that's going to be inflation. Inflation worldwide is around 3 to 5%. Dubai is around 2.9. So of course those numbers are aligned. You're going to make sure your money's working for you. Of course, these numbers are considerably more attractive, especially if you use something like a payment plan where you haven't got all of the money invested, or you use some sort of leverage such as bank financing, Islamic financing, in order to make a higher return on investment. Again, happy to answer any questions about these sort of topics. My WhatsApp telephone number is in the description below. Just drop me a WhatsApp. That's the best way to get hold of me. Arabian Ranches 3, this is as a whole. Price per square foot is 1468, and we've seen a rise of 13.8%. That's phenomenal growth in the last 12 months. Dubai Hills, 2,378 dirhams per square foot, and that would give us a 7.55% increase. Tilal Al Ghaf, we've seen an average price per square foot at 1937. That would give us a growth of 25.21. Some great numbers, some more conservative, but there's a number of factors that would influence these. For instance, the projects that are yet to be handed over, of course, those assets are not going to be moving up until you get closer to handover. That's when you realize most of the upside. Let's have a look at a few quick examples. Sun, that's Arabian Ranches 3. We've seen 18%. That's a ready community, 18% growth. That's phenomenal. Bliss, we've seen 46.85. Let's just resonate with that for a second. 46.85% increase in value over the last 12 months. Now that is because that has just handed over. So we've seen a lot of growth in the last 12 months because people are able to move into those assets, and that's where we realize those profits. Raya is yet to be handed over, and we've seen Arabian Ranches become very popular. 23.25. Let's understand where Arabian Ranch is in. So let's have a look here. Palm, downtown Dubai Hills. That's where our office is based, by the way. And we've got Arabian Ranches 3. I mean, there's a lot of development between this 311, the 611 road. This whole corridor is being developed significantly at the moment. Lots of the plots are sold, and there's going to be some beautiful communities coming in. This is the sum total of what Arabian Ranches 3 is right now. So if you look at that, there's a lot more to come. That's why people are getting involved in these communities, because they know EMA are excellent at creating communities. and they know what to expect. That's why we are able to see these numbers come in. Have a look at that. 46%, 23%, 18.73% growth in 12 months. Let's have a look at Dubai Hills. Two sides of the community, golf course side, and then you've got the park side of the community. And in this strip over here, you generally have the apartments, and then you have the luxury villas, and then you have the villas and townhouses over there. Lots happening in the community, but let's give you three examples, or a few examples here. Maple, so these are the townhouses in this cluster. That's Maple 2, you've got Maple 1, Maple 3. If you don't want to live in an apartment, you get into a townhouse in Dubai Hills. That's going to cost you 2,257 dirhams per square foot. We've seen a growth of 23.06%, and the prices are continuing to rise. Let's have a look at Sidra. Sidra is just opposite. So you've got this community, Sidra 1, Sidra 2, Sidra 3. If you're a frequent watcher of the channel, you'll know what Sidra is, but it's an independent living, villa living within Dubai Hills, the first introduction. That is trading at 3,155 dirhams per square foot, and we've seen 26.2% increase in the last 12 months. Now, you have to factor in that those are some significant numbers. So when you're making that sort of money working for you to increase by 26%, pretty phenomenal. Let's have a look here. Golf course side of the community. That's these villas back here. And that has seen an increase of 9.08%. Of course, those villas are 18 million dirhams plus, some of them going up to 40 million dirhams. So they're massive numbers, and to see a nearly 10% growth is pretty phenomenal. Let's have a look at Tilal Al Ghaf. So where is Tilal Al Ghaf? Now this is a really interesting area, and I really like the prospect here. So at the moment, Dubai Hills is a really popular area for anyone moving to Dubai, especially someone that wants to be in the suburbs, because you are 50% away from downtown, you're 50% away from Palm Jumeirah. Now let's scale out a little bit. So you got the new airport over here. What becomes the new middle? Well, it's this section over here, because then you're 50% away from downtown, and you're 50% away from Palm Jebel Ali, Emaar South, and these areas. So let's have a look here. This is Tilal Al Ghaf. Again, we said this about Arabian Ranches 3, and we saw the returns that we're making. That clients are making, of course, in that area, is because those areas are becoming more significant as people realize what they have to offer. And as we can see from this over here, you can see a few communities that have been handed over, but the majority of the area is yet to be handed over. And if I told you that there's a large lagoon that is set to be in this area over here, you would understand. Oh, phone never stops ringing. Yeah, if I said that there was a lagoon over here that's yet to be built, can you imagine what that would do for the area? So, new middle of Dubai, those key areas, you've got Jumeirah Golf Estates, you've got Oasis, which is a new master community by Emaar. There's lots happening over there. Jumeirah Golf Estate 2 is coming in that area as well. So this becomes more significant. So let's look at the numbers. What do the numbers say? Ilan, which are the townhouses, which are the first ones that handed over, which are just over here. Similar to Maple, 1747 per square foot, and we've seen an 18.84% increase. Aura, which are larger townhouses, so well, much larger, 3,400 square foot. They're selling for 1771 per square foot, 24% increase. Alaya, bigger properties, not yet handed over, 24% increase. Great area. Again, this video is not promoting any specific areas. It's just to give you a real idea of what's happening in the market, and it just happens to be the areas that we work in. You have a look here, you've got RGS. RGS is one of the top rated schools in this area, and a lot of people, they've got kids going to school there, they're starting to move to these areas. The only thing that's handed over right now is this area here, which is Ilan. You've got Harmony 1, 2, and 3, and then you've got Aura. If we put these areas to the side, let's quickly give you a brief idea of which areas are performing at what rates. So Mira Oasis is an area. Remember, we understand the geography. This is where Dubai Hills is. This is where that corridor of Saqeim is. And we come over here, we've got Arabian Ranches 1. We've got this 311, 611 strip over here. And then we've got Mira, which is much further out. 1,241 dirhams per square foot, yes, for a townhouse. Phenomenal value. You're obviously getting a bigger size property for the money that you're putting in. 16%, 16.31% increase in value. Marina, phenomenal growth in that area. I think that's definitely going to be down to a lot of people upgrading these properties, some new handovers in the area, 33% increase. Emaar Beachfront, we've seen a 5% increase. So let's understand where Emaar Beachfront is, which is this area here. I think that comes down to higher prices when they were released, 4,215 dirhams per square foot. So a 5% increase. The maritime city, Dubai Island. Let's understand where that is. So there's a lot of development at the moment. You've got this shoreline over here. You've got Jumeirah, you've got the World Island. Let's have a look over here. So you've got these three key areas. You've got Port Rashid, which is this area here. So you've got Maritime City, where you're going to have the Jumeirah Peninsula, a lot of development over here, and there's some notable development over here by Omniat and beyond. So you've seen an increase of 19.27%. You've got Port Rashid, which has obviously grown, and Dubai Island, which a lot of you would have heard about, especially if you're looking at any off-plan investments, beachfront living with quick access, with the road being improved. So you've got quick access down to downtown, and that is going to be significant because you're going to be able to go to the beach, and then you're going to be 10 to 15 minutes away from downtown, thanks to the new road upgrades anyway. So 45% increase. Do I think that 45% increase is going to be a year-on-year return? No, because I'm very conservative, but we understand the numbers. We understand where the market has been, and we can make an assumption on where the market's going. Arjan, these are three popular areas. Arjan, which is one of them here, which is Dubai Hills, which is over here. And then we got Arjan, which is just over here. So it's sort of between Motor City on this Suqaim Road, very close to Dubai Hills, very close to the mall. And Arjan has grown at 6%. Okay, not the strongest return. Personally, I think that we have to wait for a lot of these areas to get mass adoption in terms of newer buildings coming in. JVC is a more mature market where we're seeing a lot more things handed over at higher levels of quality, especially newer developments. So we've seen 14% there in terms of increase. A new one on the block, Science Park. I actually live in Barsha South over there somewhere, but this area here, I cycle down here, and what's quite interesting is this area is seeing a lot of development. There's a few projects, in fact there's one I did a video on as well, but that's seen a 13.39% increase, and that has probably not even got started. There's not a lot happening there, but you've got Repton obviously very close. You've got the schools on this road here, so I think we're going to see a lot of adoption. I think especially in this area, I think 2 and 3 bedroom apartments are really great to get into, especially because of families that are going to want to send their kids to school in any of these areas. My kids go to Brighton, which is a very highly regarded school over there. So I hope that gave you value. Again, this video was just to give you a clear understanding. In Dubai, you get a lot of people throwing keywords at you, but without any real substance. You want to understand exactly what the numbers are saying, so you can make an informed decision about different positions you're going to stay in or positions you're going to get into. Now, looking at these growth indications, what you have to make sure you're doing is you have to make sure that you're buying at good value if you're entering the market. So not every investment is going to be worth taking if you're overpaying, but some of them can. It depends on how much you're overpaying for, or is the asset going to be more valuable than other things in that market. Also, you have to factor in if you're taking leverage on any of these situations here, so any of these investments, to understand what sort of return you're going to get on any one of these investments, or any one of these areas at least. If you did have any questions, or you wanted to have a chat about the Dubai market or something that you're considering, always happy to have a conversation. Best way to contact me is using my telephone number in the description. I look forward to speaking to you. Till next time.